Hi guys, I hope everyone's having a magical day. I just kind of wanted to come on here, well, for a few reasons. I was doing a little bit of astrology work and we're having the full moon on the 9th, so I thought maybe it would be a good time to talk about things to prepare for that energy if you're feeling called to work with it. Also, I'm getting ready to harvest some chickens and I'm not ready for it. So I'm using this as a chance to get me amped up. Um, I'm going to be really grateful. I'm sorry if you are a vegan, vegetarian, trigger warning here, but I'm going to be grateful for the meat, but it's never easy doing the deed. So I figured I'm going to come on here. We're going to talk about this full moon energy that's coming in through Aries. It's actually a really interesting full moon that's coming in. And I would do a general reading in correlation to the full moon. So if you are a new practitioner, you do not have to work with the new moon or full moon energy all the time. If you're just feeling called to it, I think you should. So I'm just bringing this up now. If you feel called to maybe put a ritual into place to work with the full moon that's coming up. So I have some notes over here. And let's just go through it, okay? We are going in on the 9th to the full moon in Aries. And whenever there is a full moon, it is an opposition on the zodiac wheel with the sun. So, our moon is kind of like our intuitive part, our inner selves, and the sun is the outer self, what's projected. And full moon energy is usually an opposition of those two. So we have the full moon that's going to be in Aries, which is very much about like speaking the truth, drive. It's a fire sign. So it is very much about like, I'm going to do this and I want to do it. But it's in opposition with the sun in Libra, which Libra is all about balance. It's all about kind of ego too. If you are a Libra, I know a lot of Libras in my life, and honestly, Geminis and Libras get along so great, and I really believe that. But Libras are very much like they need, again, the balance. And so there's an opposition between the moon, the inner self feeling fiery and wanting to speak about the drive that we have, and the kind of balance of ego and self. And again, full moon always illuminates that energy. So right now you may be really feeling kind of that disconnect and really maybe want to feel the balance between it. Again, depending on what your sign into is too, this could be really a more effective moon than it is for others. But beyond just the full moon in Aries with our sun in Libra, we also have Mars squaring Neptune. Mars is in Gemini right now. And square energy is friction. When we look at astrology, when you see a square, it's kind of friction between these energies. And so Mars is squaring Neptune. And Mars being in Gemini is very much about like energy, intellect, communication. And that's kind of in friction, squaring Neptune, which is all about fantasy. And Neptune right now is in Pisces, so that is very much daydreamy emotion, fantasy. So during this full moon you might be feeling some, again, kind of square friction with Mars and Neptune of just being like your energy and your intellect versus like fantasy and what your kind of emotions are interpreting through Neptune. So again, full moon is always a good time to sit and release. Don't put action into this, but again, if you're feeling called to use this energy on the full moon with all these different transits, sit with it. I mean, full moons are the best times to journal, take a ritual bath, do something just to sit with your energy and just sit with everything that we're talking about with all the transits. So on top of Mars squaring Neptune, which is, again, energy and communication and friction with kind of like fantasy and emotion. We also have Saturn squaring Uranus. Saturn is also in Gemini, and the friction that it's going to have with Uranus being in Taurus is really about maturity and freedom. There's going to be some friction between that Gemini Saturn energy with maturity. Saturn is all about maturity. Gemini is very intellectual, it's an air sign, it's very of the higher mind. That's going to be having some friction with Uranus. That's all about freedom. And the Taurus sign, it's all about comfort and security and routine. So you may be feeling some of that friction on this full moon. The last two things I'm going to just bring up that are going to be happening on the 9th with the full moon is there's a grand trine that is happening. A grand trine is actually a very cohesive energy throughout the celestial bodies. So this is a good thing, and it can be a time for ease, a time for luck. And with the grand trine, we have that between Sun, Saturn, and Mars. And that is all about, Sun is about ourselves, our ego, our how we project to others. Saturn is, again, about maturity, about restriction, and Mars is all about drive. So there is tons of connection and easy flow between yourself, your maturity, and your drive right now in this full moon energy. Even though there might be, again, some friction between some other things, this would just be, again, if you're called to it, a really good time to sit and do some journaling. And last one I was going to say that I think this would be a really, really good time to do it is Trine is going to be in Aries. And Trine is known as the wounded healer. It's how we can find like the pain in our life, but how we can actually heal it too. There's a really, really great, not only podcast, TED Talk, she is just amazing. Her name is Deja Blue. I think I've posted it in here before, but she talks about, your weakness is actually your greatest gift. And I think that's how Trine could be really described as. And Trine is going to be in Aries, which again is very fiery, very much like wanting to like just be like fiery signs. If you know anyone that's a fire sign, so Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo, they have no problem speaking their truth. It's like what they need to do, and if you're not hearing it, it can be frustrating to them. So Trine and Aries, I feel like this is a very fiery time for healing, that you may be feeling some things that like you're like, I want to be healed in this way. And again, with the full moon, it's a good time to illuminate on it, but do not act on it. Sit with it, journal with it, and then into the next lunar cycle. Could be times that you could actually put plans into action. But again, if you're called to it, great time for meditation. Before I do this little reading, oh, look at this cute thing I made real quick too. My mom had given me a Cricut a while ago, and I had kind of we always joke about analysis paralysis. Like, I had looked at how to do it, and I just hadn't opened it for a long time. But I opened it today, and it actually, I'm about to bounce it all off. I actually used to run a machine like this. Like, I don't know why I held off on it for so long, because once I opened it up, I actually used to run a machine pretty similar to a Cricut at a major warehouse out here. But look at some of the stuff I made. Look at him. He's so cute. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just trying to get amped up. Especially again with this kind of stuff. I'm not looking forward to doing the chickens. I've brought this up a couple times in videos, and that's why we haven't done them yet, because I just keep putting it off. But I'm getting amped up for it today. I had a good creative day, and I am really hoping that this reading may reach someone that needs to hear it. So let's get into this reading, and then I'm going to finish getting everything set up for harvesting the birds. If you have not, again, trigger warning, if you don't eat meat or this is something you don't want to hear about, I'm going to talk about kind of the process because of harvesting your own animals that you raise for meat. So if you don't want to listen to it, skip right now. But it's so hard. I'm not ready for it. We've had our meat animals for a couple years and we've harvested them off and on, and it never gets easier. Like, it's so nice, once there's like a bunch of meat in the fridge and all that, but it's not an easy thing to do. I made sure that the ones that are not going to be here by the end of tonight ate really good, and hopefully they won't see it coming, but just one of those things, trying to work through it, that I'm going to be very grateful for it. If you harvest your own meat, let me know how it goes. I'm really lucky that me and my husband, how it goes for you, because me and my husband, I'm so glad that we do it together as a team. I don't think I could do it on my own. I usually do the eviscerating. He does the taking the life kind of thing. And then once that's done, I can do the eviscerating, but it's never easy. So yeah, if it's something that you do, let me know. We really don't know anyone else that does this, in their life, and kind of can feel a little isolating because it's, again, not easy, but I'm proud when we get it done. So, all right. Let's do a general reading because we were talking about the moon. I'm going to have this be set, the intention for the full moon in Aries with all the transits, and we'll see if this can be something, again, if you feel called to do it, journal about it, meditate with it, with this full moon energy. So okay, we'll do a 3 card. Okay, put these up and let's look at them and let's see what we can interpret from it. I keep my cards in this box. I still have the original box, but if you've never had this tea, it's so good. Love it. We have it like every night. But okay, so our first card is the 3 of Wands reversed. Our second card is the 9 of Wands reversed. Sorry, see if you can see that. And our third one is the 6 of Pentacles reversed. So these are all reversed. Again, I'm going to do my interpretation on this with the full moon energy that we had talked about before I look into the book. The wands, the fact that we have 2 wands and they are in multiples of 3, because we have the 3 of Wands and the 9 of Wands, and they are reversed. Wands is all about your fire, and we were talking about the full moon is in Aries, which is a fire sign. I feel like maybe again, I think this just kind of correlates with all that. This is a really good time to think about how you want to move into the new lunar cycle. And especially with the 6 of Pentacles, they're all multiples of 3. Yeah. Okay, so sorry. Reading from intuition can take a minute, but I feel like the 3 of Wands and the 9 of Wands I feel like maybe this would be, again, a good time to sit with our fire energy, our creativity, our passion, things that, again, make you just spark, to sit with it. It feels like there is something, maybe through this new moon, you might be able to manifest or to actualize that we're missing a step in between our fire and our growth of our creativity, especially again with the Six of Pentacles. I feel like the six being, okay, in between the three, the nine, that Six of Pentacles, I think, is really saying we missed a step somewhere. And whatever, if you're feeling called to listen to this, we missed some step in our creativity and our passion and our fire. And we could maybe heal it by sitting there and realizing where in our home life, where in our earthly energy did we miss the steps to connect that. Especially when you look at, these are both single individuals on the Three of Wands and the Nine of Wands. But the Six of Pentacles is a community. I would just maybe encourage you, again, if you're feeling called to do a full moon ritual or journaling, to sit with that, a project that maybe, or something that, it doesn't have to be a project, something that made you feel creative, that maybe you missed a step, and maybe there was something with community and earthly situations at the time that caused those steps to be missed. So I'm going to do a really, really quick reading from the book, Three of Wands, just in case anyone wants, what the book has to say. I feel like that was kind of accurate to what the moon energy is, but let's see. The Three of Wands, our first card reversed. Pride interferes with goals and practical schemes, overly speculative. That with the Nine of Wands being our second card, is about impracticality, uncertainties, defensive about work position. And then the Six of Pentacles reversed as well. Debts, greed, materialism, overspending, envy, loss through negligence or theft, money owed to others. So, yeah, I feel like that this full moon is a really, really good time to sit with those energies and, again, maybe figure out where. The third card, the way I read my 1, 2, 3 cards, is what's possibly working, what's possibly the issue, and a possible solution. And I feel like that's pretty accurate. So, okay, I'm going to get off here. I got to put up my Cricut and get this house clean because we are putting some meat in the fridge. I will be filming it, not the hard part, but how to dispatch a chicken. And I will be putting that on my YouTube if it's something that you're interested in. I never knew how to do it until I looked at YouTube videos. I'm so grateful for this group and for YouTube and all the different platforms to learn and share with, because I wouldn't have known any of this stuff without just all these amazing people. So I hope everyone has a good night.